All right. And also, we as a team have definitely experienced some of the adversity and trial and error with building what we have built so far in the past 11 months. And shouts out to everybody who's contributed to that. Shouts out to everyone who continuously supports and shows up and continues, creating things. We don't, I have the slogan that we don't create content, we're here to do business. And like Scatter says, often business will be your bond. So it's definitely been a learning experience for us. We were just having a meeting earlier about that and just sitting back and cherishing exactly what we've been doing and what is ahead to come. So we all agree with that. I know I definitely do as well. Um, I have another question for you, and then I'm gonna let one of the other moderators, ask a question or two if they have any for you as well. But yesterday, you were on live and you kind of sent everyone on live into a frenzy when you were talking about the 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship and how, in some cases, the jobs that we work may be holding us back from what's fulfilling to our hearts and to our lives that we truly want to do. And we do have businesses, but we treat them like a side hustle rather than really embracing the fact of being an entrepreneur. Can you speak to what you meant by that and speak on maybe a few cases that you've seen, during your time in your journey?
Yeah, I said I no longer expect somebody who pays their bills from a 9 to 5 to understand what it's like to have to pay your bills and handle all of your responsibility as an entrepreneur. It's two different things. And people started to respond and say, well, you can't say that. And some people got two jobs. And I understand it because I had to, I'm not speaking down. I had a job. I know what that's like. That's why I'm speaking on it. See, at my job, though, I knew, hey, on Friday, that check going to be there. Whether if I'm working hard, whether if they think I'm working hard or not, they not monitoring me like that when I'm working at FedEx, when I'm working at Sterilite. I can slack off a little bit and still know that check gonna be there on Friday. But that business, oh man, if you don't eat, if you don't produce, you don't know if your bills gonna be paid or not. Cause you pay yourself. You pay them bills. So I remember being at FedEx, man, and the brother I was working temp season job. And, I was making some pretty cool money, man. I was working at Sterilite one time as well and, making $12 an hour. And I'm like, okay, I make about 40, $144 a day. But every day I went to that job, I felt like I was suffocating. So although I was able to take care of my bills, I felt like I was suffocating because I said, I'm better than this. I'm more creative than this. I can give more. My time is more valuable than just sitting here putting together some baskets and some buckets and putting some wheels on the buckets. When I'm working at I'm finna say Chick-fil-A. Boy, when I was working at FedEx, I was throwing all those boxes on the truck. I said, man, if I throw 1,000 more boxes on the truck next week than I did this week, my paycheck is gonna be the exact same. Then they'll be easily ready to let me go. So that was temp season. So around December 28th, he said, hey man, we're gonna be letting some of the temp season go. So I'm gonna be laying y'all off. And in my head, I said, you're not laying me off. I said, I'm gonna fire my boss before he fires me. And I quit my job and I ain't had no job since 2016. I doubled down on YouTube, I doubled down on Facebook, and sometimes I don't know how God done got me to this point. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I done made it and I ain't had to go back to a job since. But my point was, it's not about me being able to pay my bills. See, sometimes we're able to fulfill our bank account, but our soul ain't fulfilled. So I want you guys to close your eyes and picture three sections. You got passion, you got paycheck, and you got purpose. Passion is what you really love. Like, man, I would do this whether if I'm getting paid or not. Paycheck, I'm only here because I want to make some money. That's where a lot of us at. And then purpose, oh man, this is my God-given talent. So if I have passion, but then I don't have the paycheck, it's like, I love what I'm doing, but I'm still broke. You see what I'm saying? So there's a level of being unfulfilled because now I still gotta take care of myself. If I got the paycheck, but then I ain't got the passion, it's like, man, I'm coming to work, I got the money, but something's still missing. This is why you have those who still commit suicide, those who still need therapy, but although they millionaires. So you just as bad as somebody who happy, but then they ain't even making $50,000 a year. So you don't realize that, yeah, you got that money, but it's still a big part of you missing. Then if you don't have your God-given talent, your God-given purpose, you feel lost because you don't feel like you're doing what you was even born to do. What we really want to be is in the middle somewhere. Well, it's my passion, it's a mixture of my purpose, and I'm getting paid for it. That's true fulfillment to me, right? And so I seen another brother one time and said broke as an entrepreneur is different than broke as an employee. Broke as an entrepreneur may mean, man, I don't know when I'm gonna get my next sale. See, as an employee, I at least knew next Friday I'm gonna be straight. So even if my bills is late, I knew I got you on Friday. As an entrepreneur, I may not have it shoot until about a week or two from now. You see what I'm saying? So I just, sometimes you may get into it with certain people where they expect certain things and they don't understand as an entrepreneur. Then, more than an entrepreneur, as a father, as a mother, when you got to take care of other responsibilities and it's all on you, that's a different level of pressure. Ain't no what they call it PTO when you in your building process. See, you may be able to take off on a weekend and you still get paid. If I take off because I need a break, I may be missing out on money. See, as an entrepreneur, you got to kind of be insane. I don't know about y'all as entrepreneurs, but sometimes as an entrepreneur, I have dreams about problems. I got dreams about meetings. Even when you want to take a little nap in your dream, you think about strategy. You sometimes want to just damn, can the brain turn off? But as an entrepreneur, you're always trying to figure out the next problem, solve the next problem. As a employee, you know your boss got that. Your boss is the strategist. Your boss got all the systems. Your boss got the payroll. See, you got to worry about paying yourself, paying your children, taking care of your family, taking care of the payroll. Sometimes you got to pay the payroll and you don't pay yourself. Some people say, dang, ain't you making all that money? Yeah, but you don't know I got expenses. I got building expenses. I got business expenses. I got payroll expenses. I got software expenses. So as an entrepreneur, these are all the things that's on your mind. As a business owner, you like, man, let me go in here. I mean, as an employee, you like, let me go to work, man, on my nerve. That's the only thing you worrying about. They getting on your nerves. But as an entrepreneur, it's just different. So that's what I meant. And ain't nobody really gonna convince me that it's the same. Even if you gotta struggle, even if you gotta get two jobs, it's still different than an entrepreneur who gotta put in systems and everything is literally on him. And if he takes a break, if he does something, everybody is dependent on him. As an entrepreneur, I gotta worry about, man, my team. It ain't just about me. I want to make sure I'm making enough for my team who done sacrificed and done built certain things on the back end. I gotta make sure they eat. So as an entrepreneur, it's not just your family. It's a lot of family. So if I got 5 team members, what if those 5 team members got 3 children? It's on my psyche. It's on my head at nighttime. Damn, I gotta make enough money. I gotta bring enough in. Cause if I'm not able to make payroll, 3 children may not eat. Not my own that I already got for me. 3 more children, 5 more, 6 more children may not eat. That's a different level of pressure. So that's what I meant by the difference between an entrepreneur and somebody who's on a job. Don't mean one is better than the other, but it is definitely two different pressures.
Hey, brother Ben X, this is Dream. First of all, I want to say once again, thank you for taking time out of your evening to be here with TOL. We truly appreciate you. My question for you is what happened where it was almost like a light bulb or maybe a calling where it all clicked with the purpose, passion, check, and everything kind of colliding together smoothly?
Um, Man, I think really the spark happened back in 2010 when I was making videos because I loved it and then money came as a byproduct. That told me that was a little glimpse, although it wasn't 1,000, although it wasn't 10,000, that was a sign. Hey man, you can get paid for what you love to do. So if you put this amount of effort in and you got to pay the $100, imagine if you studied this a little bit more and you mastered this a little bit more, how much you could make. So that was the spark for me back in 2010 when I got paid literally doing something that I love, not just because I wanted to make money. And when I did have to get a job when I dropped out of college, the feeling that I had let me know that this ain't for me. I know that it is right when it's going to feel right on the inside. When I say I literally felt like I was suffocating, like, bro, going to this job every day, it just, something inside of me was like, this ain't me. So even if I had to struggle, I knew that, hey, even if I struggle, it's because I lack knowledge. It's because I lack a system. Because if somebody else can do it, I know I can do it. And I'm a studier of other people. I always, whenever industry I'm in, so when I hooped and I was All American, I studied the highlights of Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan. So in business, I started to study those before me, and you got and in basketball and football, our coaches used to always say, look here, they put their socks on, they put their cleats on, they put their shorts on just like you. They ain't no different. So I go with that basketball athlete mentality. You ain't no better than me. I don't care how tall you is. I don't care how big you is, how fast you is. I'm finna score my 20 points. I'm finna get my 8 assists. I'm finna do my thing no matter who you is, back in my prime, of course. So I'm going into business the same way. Hey man, if they can make $1 million, if they can make 6 figures, if they can do this from home, if they can do this, I can do it too. They ain't no special. They just know something that I don't, which is why I'm always willing to invest in myself, invest into a course, invest into a mentorship, invest into a coach, because I know we are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. It's not that they special now. As an influencer on the influencer side, some people gonna have what I don't have. So this sister, she gonna be fine. She gonna have a big old booty. The brother gonna be swole, handsome. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's gonna be a part of the process as an influencer. Somebody may flock to somebody because they're an influencer and they look well. They may have a car. So on that end, they may have some perks. But when it comes to business, growing a business, it's really about systems, knowing what to say, knowing the positioning. So if something is wrong, there it's just I'm lacking something. I'm probably lacking the system. I'm probably lacking the strategy there because it's really an even playing field with most businesses. People just want a problem solved. They don't care what you look like a lot of times. So with that, I just know, hey, if somebody else can do it, I can do it, and I don't have to compromise, and I don't want to compromise my happiness, my spiritual fulfillment for $1 because it just never felt good. So, that's what it was for me, man, back in 2010, understanding that, hey, if I can make $100, I can make $1,000. And I saw so many people as influencers quitting their jobs, doing this full time on YouTube. So I knew I can do it as well. And I eventually did. So once I was able to do it, nothing else, was appealing to me when it come to getting a job or doing something that doesn't align in the purpose, fulfillment, paycheck and passion. So when I first joined the teaching, some people would ask, how do you turn off the teachings and make money? I say, I don't. The teachings talks about, hey, man, he want us to have luxury, money, good homes, friendship of all walks of life. He said, Islam is mathematics, mathematics is Islam. We must learn how to use it to get some benefit while you live. The minister talks about the word. So you ain't supposed to just be broke and be poor just because you got a word. No, learn how to combine it. Long as you serving, if you impacting people, you deserve the best. So I never wanted to take it off and say, hey, when I'm talking about God and when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about, you got to leave money out of that. I'm in America. I got real bills. We got real cars, we got real cell phone bill, real children. So I always try to find a way to merge it together because the scripture even says your gift will make room for you. It didn't just say all these different strategies that we chase. It says your gift will make room for you. So I used to chase, oh, here go crypto. Let me get into that. Okay, here go trading. Let me get into trading. And I would always not be fulfilled with it. Even if I made a little money, it would never be fulfilling to me. Cause I'm stuck in that paycheck part. It wasn't really my passion. It wasn't really my purpose. So I said, let me just buckle down, be disciplined. It may take some time, but I'm gonna be whatever God want me to have. I'm gonna get that through what I do, through what I do best. Because it don't say his gift gonna make room for you. It says your gift will make room for you. And that's just what I believe.